Okay, so the last 2 days we have gone over what vertex form is. Vertex form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Your vertex is found where in that equation? What's the ordered pair for the vertex? Looking at your equation, what's the ordered pair for the vertex? So what's the variable with a letter in the parentheses with x? H. So h is the x value of your vertex. And then what's the y value of your vertex? K, the constant out to the side. So in order to write your equation in vertex form, you must know the vertex. That's going to be our first step always when we are writing our equations in vertex form. Okay? So, we're going to look at this first graph. Identify the vertex. Remember, your vertex is the bottom or the top. Bottom min, top max. It's the lone point. So, looking here, what is my vertex of this graph, Marissa? 3, 2. Great job. 3, 2. That's the vertex. Therefore, what is the h value, Peyton? You can look here if you need some help. Your vertex is hk. Yep, so the h is 3 and the k is 2. Are we okay with how I identified my hk? Write the vertex, the x is the h, the k is the y. So then here I have my vertex form. Y equals a times x minus h. But what did we just find h to be? 3. So I'm going to do x minus 3 squared plus, what's k? 2. Do we like that? Literally find the vertex, put the vertex in for h and k. Okay? Now, that part is the pretty straightforward, pretty easy part. Okay? Short process, right? I like this equation, but I don't have a value for a. So we need to find out what a is. You can't just look at the graph and be like, oh, a's 3 or a's 10. Okay? We're going to have to do some algebra and calculate what the a value is. Okay? The way we're going to do this is you pick a point other than the vertex that's on the graph. It does not matter what point you pick. If I pick one point, you pick a different point, but they're both on the parabola, we'll get the same equation at the end. Okay? For our notes purposes, let's all pick the same ordered pair. Okay? So looking here, and I know the graphs didn't turn out great, sorry for that. I'm going to choose point 5, 4. Do we all see that 5, 4 is on the graph? And it's not the vertex. So that's going to be my point I'm going to choose. In my vertex form equation, I'm going to place x with the x value of the point I just picked. And I'm going to replace y with the y value of the point I just picked. Okay? So we are going to rewrite this equation, substituting 5 in for x and 4 in for y. So instead of y equals, what am I going to put? 4 equals, right? Kind of small, guys, okay? Equals a times parentheses. What did I just label x? 5 minus 3 squared plus 2. Are we okay with what I did there? Replace x with the x value, replace y with the y value. Good? Does my equation now only have one variable? Can you solve an equation if it has only one variable? Yes, so now we're just going to solve for a. Remember your PEMDAS, okay? We have to first get rid of the parentheses. So I have 4 equals A. What's 5 minus 3? 2. What's 2 squared? 4. So times 4 plus 2. Are we okay with how I got rid of the parentheses? Subtract the numbers and then square. I need to solve for A. What am I going to do next to solve for A? Say it again. I want A by itself. What's on the same side as the A but not glued to it? The 4 is glued to it. The 2. How do you get rid of a plus 2? Minus 2. Guys, I strongly suggest we pay attention. Some of us struggle solving equations. You have to know how to solve an equation to do this. 4 minus 2 is 2. When I drop down, the 2 minus 2 cancels out. When I drop down my A times 4, how do we normally write that? Do we write A times 4? We write 4A. Okay. What am I going to do next to get A by itself? Divide not by 4A, just by 4. So the 4's cancel, and I get A equals 1/2. Did I solve for A? That was my next value I needed to write my equation. To write your equation in Vertex form, you need your A, H, K. We found the HK from the graph. We just solved for A. So I'm going to rewrite this as Y equals, not A, but what did we just calculate A to be? 1/2 times X minus 3 squared plus 2. Now guys, the first 2 days we have used our calculator, correct? Do you think we can use our calculator here? Yeah, let's graph this and see if it matches the graph that was given to me originally. Okay, so let's all go to Y equals. Let's all go to Y equals. And I'm going to type in my 1/2 parentheses X minus 3 squared plus 2. When I graph it, it's going to look slightly different because the graph that was given to me is only in the first quadrant. My calculator shows all 4 quadrants. But do these look the same? Could I pull up the table and check values? Yeah. Is the vertex at 3, 2? Is the vertex at 3, 2, guys? Yep. Does it have the 0.54 on it? We did it correctly. Good job, us. How do we feel after doing just one of these? Okay, we're going to do 4 more. So if we're not great yet, that's okay. Okay, so again, in order to write in vertex form, you must find the vertex. Okay, so step 1, look at your parabola. Is that a min or a max, guys? It's a min because it's a bottom. Okay, what's that ordered pair of the point? Heather, what's the ordered pair of this point? 4. Then what's the Y value? 1. 4, 1. Great job. So my vertex is at 4, 1. Therefore, what's my H value, Leo? Remember, vertexes are written HK. So HK. So what's the H?
4.
4. What's the K, Yusra? 1. So what am I going to write then, Alex? Y equals A times X minus?
Y equals AX minus 4 to the second power plus 1.
Great job. Okay, next step is we're going to find a point on the parabola. I will tell you guys, when you are looking for a point on the parabola, I said last problem, it does not matter which point you choose. If you choose a point close to the vertex, it's easier. Okay? It just saves you a step. Okay? So Heidi, look at your parabola and tell me an ordered pair you want to use. 3, 2. It's hard to tell, but it's actually at 3, 3. Okay? It is really, really hard to tell. And I am sorry for that. On your quiz, on your test, it will be better. 3, 3 is the ordered pair. Okay? Label that XY. So I'm going to rewrite my equation. What am I going to replace Y with? 3 equals, do I know the A value? No, my goal is to solve for A. Times, what did I just label X? 3 minus 4 squared plus 1. Drop down your 3 equals A. We have to get rid of the parentheses first. That's 3 minus 4. Negative 1 squared. 1. Guys, biggest mistake, all numbers squared is positive. So whatever I get from this parenthesis, whether it be positive or negative, when I square it, it will always be positive. So times 1. And then drop down your plus 1. Solving for A, what am I going to do? Subtract 1 on both sides. So what is 3 minus 1? 2 equals, what's 1 times A? Just A. 1A, which is just A. Do I now have the value of A by itself? Yes. We did what we were supposed to do, find the value of A. Once you find the value of A, we are going to rewrite our equation. Y equals 2 times X minus 4 squared plus 1. To save time, we're not going to graph it. But could you graph this and make sure it matches? Yep. Do we feel a little bit better after doing 2 of these? Do we like that it's super procedural? You're doing the same thing every single time, guys. Find the vertex, pick another point, solve for A, put it back into the equation. Yes, sir?
Vertex is always going to inevitably be in the final equation.
Yes, that's why it's called vertex form. The vertex will always be in your equation. Okay? Good question. Okay, none. What is the vertex at, Ben?
3, 4.
Say it. 3, 4. Yes. 3, 4. So what is my H, Bailey? What is my K, Igor? 4. So Y equals A times X minus 3 squared plus 4. Tell me an ordered pair you want to choose, Sierra. It can be any ordered pair that's on the parabola. Okay, again, if you liked this last one where the coefficient was 1, so we didn't have to divide by the coefficient, it's best to choose one that's close to the vertex. Okay? 2, 3. That is a good ordered pair. 2, 3. So the 2 is my X, the 3 is my Y. So when I rewrite this, what am I going to replace y with, Morgan? 3. Good job. Equals a times, what's x going to be, Monet? Minus 3 squared plus 4. So now I only have one variable. I can solve for a. So I'm going to drop down my 3 equals a. What is 2 minus 3? Thomas? And then you square it. Positive 1. Great job. Plus 4. So what do I do to get the a by itself, Ashna? Subtract 4 from both sides. Great job. What's 3 minus 4? Negative 1. The 4 minus 4 cancels. What's 1 times a? Or just a? Do y'all remember what we talked about last class about a being negative? What does a being negative do? Reflects it. Good job, Bailey. Instead of opening up, it now opens down. Does this parabola open down? Yeah, and it should because a is negative. Okay? So, I'm going to rewrite my equation. Y equals, when I write my a, do I have to put the 1? No. Is it wrong if you put 1? No. It's just going to be written without the 1 on answer choices. And when I do it. Could you then graph and check? How do we feel after doing 3 of these? Good? Okay. Next 2. Same exact process, we're just now identifying our vertex from a table instead of a graph. When we're identifying our vertex from a table, what are we looking for? Not necessarily the middle, because the vertex won't always be in the middle of your table, depending on where your table is. But you're looking for y values that match, and then the y value that doesn't have a partner to match, that's your vertex, okay? So looking at this one, 9, 9 match, 1, 1 match. Where's my vertex? There we go, 0, 0. So I'm replacing h and k with 0. I did that a little fast. Is that okay? Now, we talked about this a little bit last class. If you have a minus 0 in the parentheses, do you even need the parentheses? No. Do you need the minus 0? No. Cross it out. If your k is 0, do you need a plus 0? No. Cross it out. So how can I rewrite this?
Y equals a times x to the squared.
Y equals ax squared.
Also, there's no parentheses.
Because there's nothing in the parentheses. If there's nothing in the parentheses with x, no need to have the parentheses. Okay?
Theoretically, you just do the same thing, right?
Yeah. It wouldn't be wrong if you had the parentheses around the
But
x. You don't need them. You're never going to see me write them. Okay, we good with that? Pick any point you want. Which point do we want to choose?
3, 9, 1, and 1.
Again, it's easiest if you choose one close to the vertex. So I'm going to choose 1, 1. Again, if you chose 3, 9, we'd get the same answer. You would just have to do a little bit more work to get the 8 value. Okay? So, I'm going to replace y with equals a times, what's x? Squared. Drop down your 1 equals a. What's 1 squared? 1. So I get 1 equals,
Oh, wait, sorry, no, that was A.
just A, right? A times 1 is just A. Okay? Good? Now I'm going to rewrite my equation. Y equals 1 x squared. Do you need the 1? No, so I'm just going to write y equals x squared. Does anybody remember from last class and 2 classes ago, what is that called? Y equals x squared. Bailey? The parent function. So this is just your parent function, because the only thing you must have in your quadratic to be a quadratic is an x squared term. Good? Okay, number 2. Where is my vertex, Dylan Day?
-2, -3.
-2, -3. Great job. Again, it's being sandwiched by pairs of y values that match. So whenever I rewrite it, y equals a times x minus h. But h is negative, so minus negative becomes a plus 2. Squared, k, but k is a negative, so it's just going to be a minus 3. I'm going to get rid of the plus sign. You don't want double signs. A plus negative is just a minus. Good? Miles, what point do you want us to use? -1, 1. It's close to the vertex, and I like working with ones. Okay, so we're going to rewrite our equation. Instead of y, what am I going to put? Yep, 1 equals a times, what did we choose for x? What did we choose for x? -1 plus 2 squared minus 3. So 1 equals, drop down your A, what's -1 plus 2? Positive 1 squared. 1.
It's 3.
You're wrong. Drop down your minus 3. What are we going to do to get A by itself? Plus 3 on both sides. So then we get, what's A times 1? Or equals A. Do I now have my A value? We can write our equation.
Would it be wrong to put just 1?
Just 1? Because 4 doesn't equal 1, does it? You could put 4 equals 1A, but you can't put 4 equals 1. So y equals, what's A? Times x plus 2 squared minus 3. Guys, could you graph this? You wouldn't check the graph, but you would check the table. Okay? Morning. You good? You like putting it in form? Okay. Now we are going to have our equations in vertex form, and we are going to convert them to standard form. Okay? So we were just working with this form. Y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Standard form, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. We've seen this a lot last unit whenever we were factoring, right? A is your coefficient of x squared, b is your coefficient of x, and c is your constant. Okay? These two are equivalent to each other. They're just different forms. Okay? So, how do I know this first one's in vertex form? Because you can see your H and your K. Where would my vertex be? Where do you think your vertex would be, Marissa?
Like 3 and -5.
-3, -5. Very good, because you take the opposite of what you see in the parentheses, and then the constant out to the side is your y value. Okay? So this is kind of what we've been doing on our warm-up. First of all, can I replace f of x just with y? Yep. When you have your parentheses to the second power, this is literally what we just did on our warm-up. What do? I write it twice. You do not distribute that exponent. And then drop down your -5. When you have parentheses squared, write the parentheses out twice. We go with that? Okay. So I'm going to drop down my y equals -2. I want to get rid of my parentheses first. Okay? When you have parentheses next to parentheses, what does that mean? Distribute. How many terms are in my first parenthesis? And my second one? So 2 times 2 is 4. So how many times are we distributing? 4 times. Very good. Let's draw our distribution arrow so we don't make that mistake. What's x times x? Do you think I could just put an x squared right here next to the -2, or do you think I need parentheses? Why do you think I need parentheses, Sierra? To separate it, because here, what am I doing with the -2? Multiplying it with the parentheses. So I still have to multiply the -2. Okay, so x times x, y'all said, is x squared. Good job. X times 3, 3x. I'm done with my x, move on to your 3. What's 3 times x? 3x. And then 3 times 3, 9. Good job. Am I going to distribute anything to that -5? Nope, it's not in the parentheses. Just drop it down. Does anybody see something inside the parentheses? Combine like terms. What are my like terms? 3x, 3x. What's 3x plus 3x? When you add, does exponents change? Do exponents change? No, so it's not 6x squared, it's just 6x. Very good. And then plus 9. So all of this, guys, is stuff we've done. It's just a long process. Okay, it is a long process, but all of it is stuff we've done. So I have y equals. We're still not in standard form yet because I still have parentheses, okay? Standard form has no parentheses. So what am I going to do now to get rid of the parentheses, Peyton? Distribute what? Great job. -2 times x is, sorry, -2 times x squared is -2x squared. -2 times 6x is -12x. -2 times 9 is, am I distributing the -2 to the -5? Nope, because it's not in the parentheses. I got rid of my parentheses. Am I now in standard form? No, why not? I still have like terms. I have my constants. So let's write y equals -2 squared minus 12x, and then what do I get when I do -18 minus 5? -23. Guys, that was a ton of work, right? A lot of steps. Do you think it would be a great idea to check ourselves? Yes, so let's all go to our calculator. Because again, I said these are equivalent functions. These are the same functions. They're just different forms. So whenever I graph them, they should be the same. So I'm going to type in the vertex form first. So we're all doing this with me. I'm showing you how you can check to make sure we get the correct answer. Vertex form in Y1. Then arrow down and standard form in Y2. And graph it. my blue one, then my red one. Did they match? You could also go to the table. Do my Y1 and Y2 columns match? Yeah, because they're the same. Guys, if they're not the same, first, I wouldn't say you got it wrong. I would go back to Y equals and make sure you typed it in correctly. Because a lot of times, we make one silly mistake of we forgot to put the negative, or we accidentally put a plus instead of a minus, okay? So don't erase everything and start over. Go back to Y equals and make sure that you type them in correctly. Good? Okay, we're only going to do one more of these, and then we're going to do our fun little group activity, okay? How do I know this is in vertex form? You have an H and a K, you have parentheses. What is my vertex, Regina? So you flip the signs. Remember, the number in the parentheses, that's the one we take the opposite of. So it's not going to be a -2, it's going to be a +2. And then the one on the outside, we don't switch the sign. So my vertex is at 2, 4. Okay? I have parentheses to the second power. What's my first step going to be? Write the parentheses twice. Drop down your Y equals 5. What do I need to do to get rid of the parentheses? Distribute. What's x times x? What's x times -2? What's -2 times x? And what's -2 times -2? +4. And then drop down your +4. Do I have like terms? Yep. So what's -2 minus 2x? Or sorry, what's -2x minus 2x? -4x. Great job. Okay, what am I going to do next to get rid of my parentheses? Distribute the 5. 5 times x squared. 5 times -4x. And 5 times 4 plus 20 plus 4. Do I have like terms? Yep. What's 20 plus 4? 24. Can we check ourselves? Yep, let's all go to our calculator and check ourselves. Type your original in. And then your answer in Y2. You putting this in your calculator, Bailey? Igor, putting this in our calculator. Graph it. And they're the same. Go to the table. And the tables are the same. So did I do it correctly? Yep. Good job, us. Good? Okay, we are done with notes for today. You can put your notes away.